Rod Stewart has never been afraid to speak his mind. But at 76 years old, the legendary singer finally looked back on his long career and opened up about something he had kept quiet for decades. The rock stars he simply couldn't stand. Not because they weren't talented, but because of egos, bad attitudes, and behind-the-scenes trauma that fans never saw. Today, we dive deep into the names Rod Stewart finally revealed and the stories behind why he secretly disliked them. Elton John. The world saw Rod Stewart and Elton John as lifelong friends, but behind the jokes and playful rivalry, there was real tension. Rod admitted that Elton's constant competition, especially in the 70s, sometimes crossed a line. Rod hated that Elton treated everything as a race. Who had the bigger hit? Who sold more tickets? Who dressed louder? Rod once said he couldn't stand how Elton would brag about record sales at private parties, turning friendly moments into ego battles. Even though they made peace later, Rod revealed that during their peak years, Elton's attitude drove him crazy. 2. Freddie Mercury. Rod Stewart respected Queen, but he struggled with Freddie's overpowering confidence. Behind the scenes at award shows, Freddie would tease Rod for his glam look, and Rod took it personally. Rod admitted that Freddie's style of humor, sarcastic and sharp, sometimes felt more like insults than jokes. Their personalities clashed. Rod was laid back, while Freddie enjoyed dominating the room. Rod said that during Queen's rise, he avoided private gatherings where Freddie was present simply because their egos couldn't fit in the same space. 3. Mick Jagger. Despite both being British rock icons, Rod had long-standing friction with Mick Jagger. Rod felt the Rolling Stones tried too often to compete with Faces, the band Rod fronted in the early 70s. But the real issue was personal. Mick once mocked Rod's raspy voice publicly, calling it gravel in a blender. Rod laughed that off in interviews, but he later revealed it hurt him deeply. For years, Rod kept his distance from Mick, saying he didn't appreciate how Jagger treated fellow musicians as rivals rather than friends. 4. Jeff Beck. Rod Stewart and Jeff Beck made incredible music together, but the relationship behind the scenes was explosive. Rod confessed he couldn't stand Jeff's perfectionism, which often turned sessions into tense battles. Jeff wanted control. Rod wanted freedom. At one point, Jeff canceled a major performance without telling Rod, leaving him furious and embarrassed in front of promoters. Rod admitted that, despite Jeff Beck's genius, he found the guitarist nearly impossible to work with. 5. David Bowie. Rod Stewart and David Bowie had a strange friendship, part admiration, part rivalry. Rod hated that Bowie often dismissed his work as commercial fluff. Behind the scenes, Bowie would mock Rod's image, calling him the blonde peacock. Rod revealed that they respected each other musically, but personally, Bowie's unpredictable and sometimes cold personality made Rod uncomfortable. It wasn't hatred, but Rod admitted he kept Bowie at arm's length for most of their careers. 6. Ray Davies. The Kinks frontman Ray Davies had a notorious reputation for being difficult, and Rod experienced it firsthand. Ray once insulted Rod's songwriting during a London club meeting, saying Rod's songs were pub music dressed in fancy jackets. Rod never forgot that comment. He later said that Ray's attitude, proud, dismissive, and blunt, was the kind of personality he couldn't stand around in the industry. 7. Van Morrison. Rod admired Van Morrison's talent, but not his personality. Van had a habit of ignoring other artists backstage, pretending they didn't exist. Rod said he couldn't stand the arrogance and the moodiness Van carried everywhere. At a charity event in the 80s, Van Morrison refused to sing a duet with Rod, saying, "I don't do lightweight pop." Rod revealed that the comment stung for years. 8. Liam Gallagher. The clash with Liam Gallagher was more modern. Rod hated Liam's disrespect toward classic rock legends. Liam once insulted Rod publicly, calling him an old man cutting his hair too young. Rod fired back, but he later said Liam's attitude represented everything wrong with modern rock: loud, rude, and lacking respect for the people who paved the way. Rod admitted he avoided Liam entirely after their first backstage meeting. 9. Bob Dylan. Rod admired Dylan's songwriting, but personally, the vibe was ice cold. Dylan had a habit of giving one-word answers, ignoring greetings, or acting like other musicians didn't exist. Rod recalled a moment at a benefit concert where Dylan walked right past him without a hello. Rod later admitted that Dylan's coldness made him uncomfortable, saying he never knew what Dylan was thinking, or if he even cared.
10. Ronnie Wood. Even though they were bandmates and friends, Rod revealed he couldn't stand Ronnie at times. The reason wasn't hatred, it was frustration. Ronnie's wild lifestyle in the Faces days, arriving late, drinking too much, missing cues, made Rod furious. Rod said that Ronnie was incredibly talented, but nearly impossible to control. Their brotherly bond survived, but Rod admitted that Ronnie pushed his patience to the limit for years.
Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon.